Hello everyone and welcome to the Old Spice Road Course here in Montana for the running of the Old Spice Matterhorn 355 in the Sundrop Cup Series. It's going to be a 50-lap race around this very short road course. The shortest road course on the schedule measures just a little bit longer than some of our 1.5-mile tracks like Chicagoland and Kansas. So this should be a quicker race than some of the other road course races, but it could be a very entertaining one. For the first time in his career, at least in the Cup Series, William Duncan is on pole in a Top Series event. I'm pretty sure his last pole coming in his debut event at the Valvoline 200 back in Season 3, but this is big. Now, let's not joke around about this. Tib Foster did end up winning pole, but the car failed post-qualifying inspection, so he goes to the rear, along with Joseph Strigley, who would have started 11th, and Diego Yepes, who was back in the 30s. So Duncan, it was on merit, and you can't take it away, but it is because the 40 did fail inspection, but still a very fast car underneath the 33 this weekend. I think he knows that it's probably not going to win. Look at the guys behind him, Matty Porta, Jay Jefferson. You're going to see Foster charge through the field real quick, but this could be a great day, a career day for William Duncan. Hopefully, we'll see that 33 come to the end. Meanwhile, alongside him is Jay Jefferson. Came up just 2 laps short at Texas World. A green-white checkered finish cost him the win after dominating in front of the home crowd. He got his first win at Pocono a couple weeks ago, trying to get one today here at Old Spice. Matty Porta is the road course king, but his first ever road course victory came last season here at Old Spice. He followed that up with a race win at Road America earlier this year in our last road course event. So Porta, the road course king, alongside Tib Foster. Those two might be the big threats to win this race, but Porta will have about 36 positions on the start of the race over big rival Tib Foster. Monster also having a good time with DJ Curtis, Zachary DeLello up near the front. Couple of their other guys are a little further back. You also got Carson Bowers, Ange Auto. If Foster was able to hang on up front, you would have had a great run for Ange Auto with Roger Ray starting 11th. Instead, Ray gets promoted into the top 10 in the 84 car right there in that 84. Looking a bit further back, TSR has a couple good, strong drivers up here in Eli Bright and Larry Hagan. That's row 7. Stephen Wallace Jr. in row 8 with Jacob Edson. There's Cody Goforth, who had at Texas World, what can you say? We were praising him so much, and it blew up the engine. So, Goforth still looking for that first career win. It's been a long time coming this year. We'll see what he can do at the road courses. Looking a bit further back, Ash Sutton making his first race in a long time in the NSDCA, driving for DWM, DW Motorsports in that number 10. Still no sponsor on the car. And Zachary Fitzwater makes a cup start here in the 81 as Lotus Desperado, of course, was removed from full-time competition for LEI. That team's starting to scale back their runs this season, already dropped about 5 or 6 races off the schedule. But Fitzwater, in what will be his final season of his career, we'll at least get one more cup start under the hood of that one. There's Rose Henson in the 07, another driver, making her last cup start probably here at Old Spice. Anderson Reed was the Texas World winner in a shocking run at the end. A great job by Anderson Reed to get that car up there. You also got Austin Johnson, new sponsorship on the 51, so those good runs have now brought him some sponsorships and primaries there with Bennett Transportations on the 51 car. Looking the rest of the way through, you got Matthew Brown near the back. There's Spurley-Tube. There's Foster, Strigley, and Yepes. This is the man we're going to watch and hope to see up front at the end. The 40 and 63 are some of the biggest road course guys in the series. They are so good at them. Only Foster, though, has the most wins as a road course driver. Joseph Strigley, 0 wins, but looking for one today, as well as William Duncan, the big ringer on pole. It's going to be 50 laps ahead of us at Old Spice. Going to be a fun one. Let's go down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Old Spice Matterhorn 355.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. Today it's William Duncan, who did not qualify fastest on pole, but after Tib Foster failed post-qualifying inspection, lost the pole, William Duncan gets his first pole and gets his first entry ever into the Clash at the beginning of the season. William Duncan and Ditech are looking for a great race today. Old Spice has been pretty good for races this weekend and good for the underdogs. We'll see if the road course ace in William Duncan can finally turn a pole into a victory. The Saya Trucking 33 leads the field off for 50 laps at the Old Spice Matterhorn 355. With that, the engines are fired. We're rolling off for these 50 laps here at Old Spice. A short road course makes for some tighter racing, some more exciting racing. This is a great track on the schedule. Had a great time last year, hoping to see a good one this year. But we're really hoping, and I think all the fans are rallying around your pole sitter, William Duncan, in this 33, who could be having a chance at his first race win today. As I said, you know, it's good to be optimistic. It's good to not put guys down, but this team has been struggling so much this year. I think even a top 10 would feel like a win for the 33 team. And if you're looking at who they got to face, you got to face the defending champion and the best road course racer in the top 10 right behind you and right beside you. So it's going to be hard. If Duncan can clear them into turn 1, though, if he gets a good launch, I think you could see that 33 stay out in front, lead some laps. Maybe if he plays some strategy, he could end up winning this thing in that 33 for Ditech. We'll have to wait and see. For a 50-lap race, the fuel window is roughly 15 to 20 laps, somewhere in that mix, but we noticed in practice that tire wear could cost you multiple seconds a lap if you're like 10 laps older tires. So if you pit early, maybe on a caution, you could tear your way through the field very, very quickly. So we'll see how that is. With those fresher tires, tire wear possibly being a key factor in the conclusion of this race. But we're not even at the start yet. They're coming through the final high-banked corner here, a high-banked right-hander, which could be scary. This is a scary part of the track, high speed down into a tight braking zone at the end of the course. So you got to hope that you keep it clean coming through here, because hitting that wall could be troubling. It's going to be 40 drivers, 50 laps, a ringer on first, a ringer in third. You got more road course aces like Zachary DeLello up front, Eli Bright back there, not really road course ace, but we didn't mention him earlier with a good start here. But no matter what, we're getting ready to go racing. 50 laps, 40 drivers. The Old Spice Matterhorn 355 is green. We're racing once again in the Sundrop Cup Series. Look at that scatter, and already we said Duncan would have to lead himself down into turn 1. He's going to try to. Jefferson had the nudge, or the edge. Porta now on the inside. Duncan right up the middle getting aggressive with him, but now Jefferson's going to drop back. Porta is going to take that spot away. I think he should. He has the preferred line through here, can slide right up, and will lose that, or will take the race lead as Morris now fights Duncan for second. Now into a technical part of the course. It's pretty high speed, another chaotic area of the racetrack, and we're side by side for second between the 55 and 33. Real close coming through there, but it looks like Duncan right there is going to get the edge over Morris. We'll see if the 55 dives into the corner, as it looked like Bowers and Onjack were making some contact back there. And we're coming around to complete lap number 1, and it will be Matty Porta in the 20 out to the race lead and off to the races here, as it's 2, 3, and maybe even 4 wide further back. Looks like Ryan Butcher was real far at the bottom. Now you see 2 and 3 wide racing all the way down into turn 1, and there's a lot of hard braking zones here, a lot of passing opportunities here at Old Spice. Makes for a unique track with it being so short, and that's another big thing we've seen here is pit stops. You can lose a lap here, basically just under pit stops, and that could cause some major mayhem with a very weird, very rough pit road entry and exit. You could see some collisions on both ends that could make for some dangerous moments at this track. But with the pit exit being right into basically the racing line as they head onto the bridge, drivers got to be real worrying about who's coming out, and you got to listen to your spotter big time as you see Zachary DeLello making a move and clearing William Duncan for that third position. Looks like the 33 car is already starting to drop back, but really the front two in this race were 4th and 6th, so it looks like maybe not starting on the pole was, or maybe not starting on the front row was a bigger deal. Jefferson already back to 6th. Now Duncan fighting Kukulon for that 5th position, and don't forget at Texas World, it was basically Kukulon who dumped Jeff Alloway into William Duncan and cost Duncan pretty much his entire race, though that was not the crash that took Duncan out of contention. Williams going to clear, though, the 19 for 4th, a big run there, so Ditech hanging strong in the 4th position after a couple laps here. Dusty Neal making a big move on Curtis. That might be some contact there, and with how fast this corner is, it is very scary to come down as Neal and Curtis make some contact heading down into the final corner here. And here they go on through. Neal trying to take that spot away from DJ Curtis as Zachary DeLello starts to hunt the 55. And if you see at the very top of your screen, we're going to go take a look back at him in a moment. Tib Foster, that bright purple or bright pink and purple 40 car. He started this race 38th. I think he might be inside the top 20 or at least the top 25 in that 40 car. And that's what we're going to go back to look at. There's Lane Eves Spurley 2 back there trying to work his way through. Strigley also. Strigley and Yepes were the two others with post-qualifying failed inspections. Strigley's right now fighting for the top 30 spots. We're going to take a look at this three-wide battle between Brown, Butcher, and Strigley. This could be very sketchy coming through here. But it looks like they're going to keep themselves clean. Strigley was the one to back out there. He's going to take that spot away. But Tib Foster, where is he in the 40 car? Jeff Alloway was 20th last time by. This is either going to be for 21st or 22nd. And he is 20th. So Tib Foster has gained 18 spots in the first 5 laps here at Old Spice. A king of the road courses, has the most road course wins out of anyone. 3 at Most Sport, 2 in the trucks, 1 in the Cup. As well, he won Willow Springs earlier this season, and I think he has another, and he has a Road America win in the Mountain Dew Custom Series en route to his Mountain Dew Custom Series championship. So you never count Tib out at Old Spice. He was going to win this race last season until I think it was a bad pit call for the 40 team that took him out of contention and gave Porta the win, but Porta now already 1.5 seconds ahead of Morris, and as they sit right now, Tib is 9 seconds behind the 20 of Matty Porta. You see Friesen and Logan Cloud going at it there. But the rest of the field going single file. Up front, though, it is all Matty Porta, who has stretched his lead out to 2 seconds now over the 55 of Morris, the 57 of DeLello, Duncan in the 33, Kukulon in the 19. Top 10 there, you see there, and as we go back on through, we're going to take a very quick commercial break. Bring guys right back to the action at the Old Spice Matterhorn 455. It's all Matty Porta out in front in the 20. He's going off to try to win this race here in a dominant fashion, 6 laps in to Old Spice.
Grab my hand!
Wait, are you sweating?
Didn't you use Allspice dry spray? Of course I did. I'm not an idiot.
Don't lie to me, Dolph Lundgren. It's right here. Old Spice has long-lasting sweat protection.
I'm telling you, I used it. Okay, I lied.
How do I get out of this place?
Told you it'd be a pretty short break here. Only missing a lap of action here. Up front, pretty much stayed calm, but Foster's picked up a few more spots. Looks like he got 17th from Friesen. So now, Tib Foster slowly starting to charge through the field. He's losing a ton of time. He's losing probably a second, maybe a lap to Porta, and that's just because Porta has no one to fight with right now, while Foster's just moving by all the cars that are in front of him. But this 40 is charging through quickly, and if he can clear and maybe get some lucky cautions, which probably will happen here at Old Spice, especially with pit entry, pit exit being problematic as well. This track, very slick. We'll probably see at least a couple cautions here today, which could bring Foster right into the mix and contention for a race win, and that'd be pretty big there from a 38th to first. But remember, some people might say, you know, that 40 car, he did fail post-qualifying inspection. That means he has an illegal car, and he's just running through the field. Well, you got to pass inspection to make the race. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't race with an illegal car, so they made the changes, and that doesn't stop Foster. If you think that's going to stop him, you better put him in a horse and buggy, because that's the only way he's not going to get a top 5, top 10 run, at least have that pace on a road course, and especially not here at Old Spice. Cody Goforth dropped back a bit. Talk about that 17. There's Foster going for the move on Austin Murray. Dusty Neal in the 94, coming off of a great run that was going on at Texas World until a late race caution with the slick track, the hot weather, the tires fading there, and Goodyear, of course, came under scrutiny a lot for Texas World's incidents. A lot of the drivers complaining about the grip there. But Neal was having a good day. He qualified 40th at Texas World, made it into the top 10 by the end, and bounced off the wall, took him out, and finished 19th. That was not indicative of how he ran that day, but he's running very good right now, working on DJ Curtis, who just got by him as we were watching it there, the HoloLive 94. This scheme really hasn't had too much screen time this year. Seems like the anime car has not been running as good as the McDonald's or the South Point colors, but a top 10 run right now for that 94 team. Jay Jefferson starting to work on Kukul on his Peter Onjak. Starting to work on Jay Jefferson as Duncan's still trying to hang on in that 33 car further up. There you see Onjak diving to the inside, got him real close to the 48. That might have caused a little bit of a scare by Jefferson. He went real wide there. But if you're looking, there's second and third. All the way back to 10th is basically under a blanket. That's Irving Allison in 11th, but still, you get the point of the idea. And it's 3.4 seconds to Matty Porta right here. And we're going to go ahead, do a quick flyby as they head down into the final quarter. This is one of the big passing opportunities, so this is a good corner to take a flyby on. But there you see Porta's gone. Morris and DeLello second and third. Duncan and Kukul on your top 5. There's 10th and Dusty Neal. There's Tib Foster making a move now on Roger Ray. That's going to pick him up a couple more spots. Austin Delgado looking for a move. He's a previous Old Spice winner. There's Joseph Strigley. Has not made the same amount of gains as Tib Foster has, and Yepes has only gained 4 spots since the start of this race in that 35 car. Give a shout out to Ash Sutton. As long as they can keep this DWM car clean, it'll be a good day for the unsponsored team. They're happy to get Sutton in for what I think is actually 3 races this season. It's either 3 races or it was just Old Spice. There was it was heard in the paddock that Butcher Gatorade Motorsports approached Sutton for 3 races in the what I believe was the truck for this year. That did not work. So Sutton does take the 10 car and qualified it in with one of the biggest fields we've had qualifying for a race this season. I think 47 entries for this event. A lot of drivers went home. See Foster now working on his own driver. Stephen Wells Jr. and SWJ is throwing the block on Tib. Real defensive down in there. And man, really roughing up the boss there. Again, SWJ is not driving a CFRO car here, but he is signed through CFRO to drive this GDI 65 as well as the Cup car, and he is putting a fight, is taking the fight to Tib Foster, and Tib cannot get by him, so Tib probably wouldn't be too happy about that, having a probably a slower car holding him up from where he could get up to the front, but that's his driver, you know. You think that a lot of these guys that are owners and drivers in the series, even if it's for their own team or not, you know that their drivers are going to race them hard as they can because they definitely want to keep their rides in those cars. And SWJ's done very good in the trucks this season, right now having a pretty much best run of their season as SWJ goes for the block again, this time a little too late, and that is going to get Foster to the inside. And we'll see if Tib can pull away this time. And this is a big fight here between the 40 and 65. Some great road course action. And that's how you see how good of a driver Tib Foster is. Did not get into SWJ that whole time. Now, he's not clear yet. But coming down here into what is, I believe this is turn number 3 on the track. Coming into turn 3, you got that inside line. You can slide right up. The outside can carry some momentum, but if you just arc the corner like that, you see Foster's going to clear and pull away. Track position probably more key than having momentum coming through this section. But that will be Foster up another spot. So some great battling now, and that's what really is going to happen with Tib, is he's getting into some drivers that are much harder to pass, especially on road courses. And you see Duncan has picked up a spot on Morris during all that, and now is looking for a spot on DeLello, so he's looking to take that second position back away, and that's going to give that to Duncan. I think he's drag racing DeLello down into turn 1. This is going to be a good braking zone and really outbrakes Zachary DeLello and clears that 33 into second. So now he is the best of the rest. You see the top 7 single file outside of Porta, who is having a nice Sunday drive. 1 car on pit road. That is Ash Sutton in the 10. And it looks like a scheduled pit stop, but I didn't even notice we're on lap 14 of 50. So that means, you know, fuel window is going to be opening up here. So we're going to go ahead to the wide angle shot at the pit entry. We're going to see it. Porta's gone. Oh my gosh, look at the gap Porta has. But Duncan's right there. There's Onjak and Kugelon fighting for the 5th position. And here comes the rest of the field coming on by. We'll see if anyone does pit. Probably some of the more underfunded teams, they might be trying to do some strategy. And it looks like Matt Sladdick's in. Looks like Matthew Brown's in. Vince Freeze in the 62 will also bring it in. And it does also bring Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in. So there's that. There you see now the 10. And DeLello's going for a move on Duncan again. Trying to do it cleanly. But as we said, fresh tires are going to be key. And Sutton is probably going to catch Porta within a lap or 2 and unlap himself if Porta does not pit this time by. Because the fresh tires here, you get so much more grip on them. And you can absolutely pull away. And you saw he was like right in front of DeLello when they came around that last time by. But we'll go to another shot of this corner. This is scary. It's a scary pit entrance, especially if you're trying to pit from the outer line and trying to get in. So hopefully these guys all get nice and single file before they do indeed come down pit road. It looked like the caution lights came on. They did not. That is my mistake there. And this is not good to see. Is coming out too wide. That could really kill you there, as Freeze is going to nick the edge of the pit wall. And as we said, it's a very tight pit exit here. And now you got the 62, the 01, right in the middle of this. Right in the middle of all these guys that are on the lead lap. So this is going to be a big battle here and could cause for some issues. Again, the fresher tires, these guys that are lapped down might be trying to get their laps back manually. And you see Sutton has flown up on Porta, and look at the speed difference there. Even still, the 10 is very underfunded compared to the 20 car, and Porta's been the fastest car on track this whole time. And look at Sutton just going to outbrake him and blow by. So fresh tires are absolutely king, and it's just going to pull away. And look at that gap that the 10 is creating on the 20. So I don't know how that's going to factor in how you want to take these tires if you want to, you know, extend these stints longer so you have some great fresh tires at the end. Some of these guys who pit early, they might not even have enough to make it to the end with the fuel window being about 20 laps. So what you're seeing right now is the leaders probably as they run. You see Sladek actually passing Porta on the outside. So yeah, fresh tires, big factors here. As Sutton's probably already put about 2 or 3 seconds on Porta as is, just driving away from him. And there is Porta. He's going to bring it on in. So now this is what we're going to watch here is the pit strategy. Porta brings it in. Duncan's going to come on in. DeLello stays out. I don't know if he could come in with Fitzwater, but that'll put DeLello out for an extra lap. There goes Foster. He's going to stay out. Stephen Walls Jr. as well. Brady Burkhart's bringing on in. Roger Ray, Cloud, Friesen, and a handful of drivers are going to stay out on track. Henson's going to bring it on in. So we'll take a look here as they loop around. So that's Zachary DeLello staying out with Tib Foster, Stephen Wallace Jr., Eli Bright, Joseph Srigley, Jeff Alloway, Jacob Edson, Colton Lane, Yves Yepes, and Max Anderson. So that's about the ticker will update here, and that is going to be 11 cars. So 11 still have not come in. There you see Strigley and Bright now going at it. That's for what is on track, the 4th position, but it will not be when they cycle around. Zachary DeLello, we'll see if that 57 does indeed come in this time. And that's going to be the other key, is watching these guys come out. It's a very thin pit exit. You got to try to get out on time. And if you're coming too wide out of there, you're going to have a problem. And if they're too wide on track, it's also going to be an issue. But Old Spice is not the most safe track in the world. Let's just keep it at that. But here comes the rest of the field coming on out that was down here. And there's DeLello now bringing it on in. Can't really see onto pit road with how blocked it is. But there is Matty Porta now out in front. And you can't even see William Duncan behind him. So there is Porta. We're going to hold a flyby coming down this front straightaway here, 18 of 50, 19 of 50. And this will also show us when these guys come off of pit road. But there is the gap now between Porta and Duncan. 6.8 seconds. There's the rest of the field. And no shot. The 10 and 87 are top 5. DeLello's going to come on out. Everyone's staying pretty calm. And I'm actually proud of how clean pit road. It looks like this round of pit cycle. Oh, man. Strigley and Bright were getting real close with Friesen there. But as the rest of the field comes on out, it really looks like I think Yves is the last. Yeah, Max Anderson's the last one. So that is a clean round of pit stops for everyone. That is fantastic to see. Now the only problem is Max Anderson's in turn 1. Porta is in the final corner. But it's Matty Porta out in front. William Duncan now sits in second in this 33 car with a nice gap. Morris third, Onjak fourth. Sladek and Sutton, we saw him blow right by the leaders. They pit around lap 14 and 15. They now sit 5th and 6th. And again, we're going to give some TV time to the 10 so they can try possibly to get some camera time, get some sponsors on that car with a great run today here at the road course as they run. But now Kukulon's going to blow by him. And these two are probably going to drop pretty good with those older tires. It's not too much older tires. They're warmed up at least, but 6 laps will probably maybe be a second a lap slower, especially when you're fighting some of the faster cars in the grid. DeLello's dropped back to 8th, Hagen 9th, and Curtis 10th. Jefferson's starting to fall like a rock. He's 13th. Foster is 15th. Cody Goforth fighting Vince Freeze there. I think Freeze got some contact coming off of pit road. I think William Duncan also got a piece of the wall coming off pit road. And as we said, it's very tricky. You're basically trying to go right out of a needle, pinhole onto the racetrack. There you see Spurley Tube to the inside. Stephen Wallace Jr. dropping back. So it looks like the majority group that came in together, that was probably the best strategy for him. But I don't think anyone's going to catch Porta. There's going to have to be a caution for anyone to catch this 20. He is just long gone. Whoa, drifting there for Matty Porta. Well, he kind of drifted coming through the corner there. But as we're coming on to this opening lap, we're going to go ahead on board with our in-race reporter as he comes down into the final corner. We're going to take a lap around Old Spice on the visor cam for Matty Porta, your race leader. Pretty easy coming down into turn one. It's just hold on throttle until you pretty much get off the pit exit or the bridge exit, and a little bit of a back left right S's right there. Now down into another big passing opportunity. If anyone was near Porta, you can dive it on in here. You know, dime in the corner down to bottom to top, come off there. But he just gets the momentum coming through the S's back here. A couple back left and right handers down to the pit exit, and this is where you're really hitting the speed on the track. You're coming through the bank turn. You don't have to let off. You can pretty much slide it through there, and you got to get hard on the brakes for the final corner on the track. Just slow down and take it easy. Now, when you're all alone, it's pretty easy to do so. As you see, Porta is out in front all alone now by 6.5 seconds, probably more after this time around. But this 20 car, he's hitting his marks. He's pulled away. He's having a time there. It looks like him and Duncan 50.063, so Duncan was just a little bit faster than Porta that time. Maybe some stage fright by Porta, but Duncan does gain maybe about 100th of a second on Porta, which could be big. We would say give a shout out to Duncan, but after last week, we're not going to talk about him. Morris is back here in third. He's the one that has 4 wins on the season already, trying to break a record, Colton Lane's record of 5 wins in his Mountain Dew Custom Series title. Now, I would have to say, no matter what, this might be the top tier of the NSDCA biggest series, but Lane won 5 races in 14 races on a schedule as we are under caution, and the game is having a time with that. Anderson Reed, last week's winner at Texas World, goes around in turn 1, and this pace car is killing my frames. But it is Matty Porta out in front in that 20 car over Duncan, Morris, Onjak, and Kukulon. And now, coming to the halfway point in the race, you cannot make it to the end on one more stop of fuel, so we'll see. This could shake it up and be Porta's downfall, because there might be some people staying out. There might be people coming in, but it is his teammate Matty Porta who causes the caution here. Now is the field. They're going to line back up. Hopefully we don't see any issues here, and that's fantastic. Just don't get too much damage here, boys. But we're coming on around. It is Anderson Reed. He went around in turn 1, so we'll take a look at that. But it's Porta out in front over Duncan, Morris, Onjak, and Sebastian Kukulon as the field still is trying to line themselves up. So we'll see right here who will indeed come down pit road, who will stay out, and that could be the deciding factor on this race. But I want to point out, for Matt Sladek and Ash Sutton, Sutton already back to 16th. Sladek was able to hang on in 8th. He's used to the Cup cars, at least. If everyone comes in here, this could have, and not everyone's going to come on in, so top 3 come in with Matt Sladek. So the pit strategy is going to be different here. Sladek, Sutton are coming in. Porta, Duncan coming in. And this is going to be big in the race to the end because everyone has to make one more green flag pit stop no matter what. And the majority of the field is going to stay out. And that is going to cost Porta, Duncan, Morris a ton of time. So it will cost those guys. But that'll put Peter Onjak into the race lead over Kukulon, DeLillo, Curtis, and Hagen. So we're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break, get the replay, bring guys back to the action here at the Old Spice Matterhorn 355 at Old Spice right after this. This is really a simple crash. Not really should have been a caution, but it is. Reed's just going to dive it on in, trying to get by Eves. He slows down, and Eves doesn't. They just had different braking zones. The 3 goes spinning. A little bit of damage to the 47, a little bit of damage to the rear of the 3, but otherwise those two going to be able to continue on. All 40 cars still on track here at Old Spice.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce dryer bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
So with that, we're back here at the Old Spice Matterhorn 355. Porta now sits 31st with Morris, Duncan, Sladek, Bright, Sutton, Fitzwater, Brown, Freeze, and Anderson Reed. All 40 cars still on the lead lap after 25 laps. We went pretty much that whole opening stint green, and we had some green flag pit stops. A clean green flag pit stop cycle. But now, this is when the chaos happens. Let's put it plain and simple. Matty Porta restarting 31st means his 22 laps led on the day are probably not going to increase, but his aggression is definitely going to increase on this opening restart. Another issue could be you got to watch these opening restarts, especially the further back you are on that restarting on the final corner. The NSDCA just could not get the track to move the start-finish line. It's going to be an issue restarting, and you could have a penalty, and we're going to hope that they don't. But this is what we are going to see as this race gets going, gets ready to go back racing. We'll see what happens as it's on Jack, Kukulon, DeLello, Curtis, and Hagen, your top 5. A new top 5 kind of out here, but it is Peter Onjak in the race lead trying to take this thing home. Everyone still has to make one more pit stop, so we'll see what strategy plays out. Onjak in the 44 leads us down. Green flags in the air, and we're racing at Old Spice, and it looks like Onjak got a real poor restart there. He's going to lose some time back there in that 44 as they head down into turn 1. Onjak's going to clear Kukulon, though. And they are 2 and 3 wide as Hagen is sliding all over the racetrack. Here comes Foster in the 40 up the inside. And Tibb, who has been one of the fastest cars all race, right now in that 40 is moving his way up. Strigley actually has the fastest lap in the race. That's very interesting to see. We just wanted to make a note of that. But now, Onjak, Kukulon, your top 3. Here comes Foster. He's pushing Curtis out of the way. And this is for the 4th position. The Maniac here in that 40 as Hagen and Bowers make contact. That could have been real bad, real quick for many drivers in a banked corner. Of course, banked corner is more of a self-cleaning racetrack. And we're looking all the way through. Doesn't look like anyone got a penalty, so we are all clean. A nice restart for everyone here, but it is absolute chaos all the way through the field. Top 6 single-filed out. Bowers almost took a nasty hit there. There's Austin Delgado. Riley Spurlitube. Strigley is joining his way into the top 20 as we speak. And that 63 car. Rest of the field coming on by. There's Stephen Walls Jr., Rose Henson. Morris is back there in the 55. Porta now 3 wide with Austin Johnson. Matt Sladek. So again, we'll see the 55, 87, 33. They have those fresher tires. They have about 6 laps, I'd say. Fresher tires as Morris is going to throw it 3 wide here. Looking up the middle on Edson and Lane, and he's going to clear both of them coming through for that 25th position. Edson real slow in that 82. But we're going to have to see if these faster cars at the back with the fresh tires could dice their way through the field, be up front quickly, because fresher tires, as we said, are the king. They can give you maybe 2 to 3 seconds faster of lap time, but that doesn't help when you're in the traffic. Now, these guys came down about lap 20, meaning they can make it to lap 40. The guys that just came down under that caution would be able to make it to about lap 45. Does anyone have enough to make it to the end? I don't think so. 20 is really stretching the fuel window there. But we'll see. We'll see what will happen. Though the 55 and 87, they are inside the top 20 now and charging. And this is when most of the field is still together as Alloy's getting sideways there. This is when most of the field's still together. You see Porta making a big move. Duncan tried to throw it in there. That was not a yellow flag. I'm seeing a lot of yellows today that aren't happening as Duncan is shoving Edson through. Duncan knows he has a fast car. He has the fresher tires, but he does not want to make moves that could crash him out of the race. He wants to be careful in this one, and he's not going to be careful there. A big dive to the inside is going to pick him up 3 spots in one corner as he leads that time over Ben Yacco. So the 20, 33, 55, and 87 are the ones on the charge as Ash Sutton is trying to make it 4 wide there in the 10, right up the inside. Friesen lane making contact. Friesen's going sideways. No way they're going to save it. They will keep it all straight on track. And what a drive that was by Carter Friesen and Jacob Edson on the grass and almost crashing those cars. Now, are they going to be too happy if we can find him? I'm sorry for going through the field, but if we can find him, I don't think any of those 3 are going to be too happy with this man right here, Ash Sutton, but I don't think Sutton cares. He is trying to race this car as fast as he can and get some great TV time and possibly get a great run for the DWM team as Fitzwater and Ben Yacco make some heavy contact coming into the corner. This is some physical road course racing, and somehow they're mostly keeping it straight. What a race we're seeing right now. And here comes the 55, 87, and 20 breaking their way into the top 15. Duncan mired a bit further back, and that's probably what's going to happen. The 33 has faster tires, but it is still slower than a good portion of this front group. Now you see Foster clears DeLello for 3rd. Has a little bit of front-end damage. I think that's from the stack-up. Coming to caution. Not much you can do about that. But the 40 right now of Foster is charging, and now could we see him in the 40 take the race lead and do what Porta did? As DeLello said, he doesn't care. DeLello wants to make up for that Road America loss, throwing it into the gravel in the carousel on the final lap. He wants to win today. He is up in the 3rd spot. And just as we said, Strigley was charging in the top 15. He is now in the top 10 as he's up to 8th in that 63. So some major gains by the 40 and 63 today, as the 2 road course aces are up in this battle. And there you see the 55 and 87. This could, oh man, Sladek right on the back of the 55, pressuring Morris for all he's got. And this could theoretically be the battle for the race lead at some point in this race. And if Matt Sladek for Zachary Racing can get it really, you know, it is strategy. You're playing strategy, but you still got to have the strategy and have the pace to be able to move around these guys and stay with one of the fastest guys moving through the field right now in Morris. But he's going to use his teammate, Irving Allison, as a pick. Morris's teammate, Irving Allison, as a pick. And Sladek's trying to take that spot away from both of them and possibly lead the charge as Goforth, I think, just gave the bump and run to Bowers into the corner and give that spot. Now Sladek breaks his way into the top 10 as the first one. Now Morris and Porta fighting behind him. And there you see Duncan now out-dragging the 48. Look at that 33 carving through the field. Looking now to the inside of Spurleytube. So this is going to be, if I just hope we can see a green flag run to the end, because this could be an all-time barn burner of an event. However, the problem here would be the 87, 55, 20. They would lose a lot in this race if there is no more caution. They're pretty much banking on one right now as Foster almost sent Kukulon into the pit wall. And that's a battle for that 3rd position as they come on around, sweeping out of that final corner. Peter Onjak continuing to lead. 32 laps complete, 33 there, so we're 18 to go here at Old Spice. And for 33 laps at a road course, it's gone by very quickly. Only about a 32-minute run time since the green flag, maybe about 28-minute run time since the drop of the green flag. But these are very fast laps. You're just in the 50s. So a 50-lap race should take probably about 40 minutes to complete. But we did have one caution in the interim of that. Foster chasing down DeLello. That's going to be for that 2nd spot. Everyone, though, a lot of drivers at least, in the garage. A lot of fans want to see this man in victory lane. Zachary DeLello almost captured it at Road America. And really today, as they're running, I think he's going to lose the spot to Foster there as Strigley is off. Porta's going to go spinning. Joseph Strigley there into Hagen. And everyone's going to pile up down into this final corner. Morris is in it. Strigley's in it. Irving Allison right into the back of Joseph Strigley. Couldn't see through the smoke, and the biggest threat to win this race is out. Matty Porta is done. And that is going to shake up everything. Here comes the pace car coming on through. I cannot believe that. Strigley was trying to maintain his position. And as we said, the faster cars, those fresher tires, are going to charge you through the field. And those fresher tires is what basically caused that caution. Sladek went for too much. He had the 55-20 pressuring him and got into the 63. Irving Allison, his day is going to be done. Heavy damage. William Duncan snuck through it. Now, what you're looking at is for everyone, I hope they all pit. You can make it to the end on this one, plus maybe the one chance at the green-white checkered. Remember, though, the NSDCA after Road America, seeing what kind of fuel issues could happen on just one green-white checkered, and some of the simulations we've seen before, the NSDCA is limiting it to one chance at the green-white checkered from here on out, trying to save fuel as they come on down. So we're going to see right here, Duncan's coming on in. Sladek is staying out. The Mad Lad in the 87 is going to stay out on track, and it looks like the rest of the field is going to come on in. We're going to see a bunch of cars probably out of this race after this one. Irving Allison, Joseph Strigley, heavy damage as the whole field comes on down, and Sladek is the only one staying out. Oh boy, this is going to be a restart. But as we said, there's only going to be one chance at a green-white checkered now. The NSDCA said they prioritize wanting to see a green flag finish, but they did say if these guys cannot keep it clean for one extra lap under a green-white checkered, they may as well call it there. So the NSDCA, instead of 3, it will be 1. They're trying to save some of the heartbreak about fuel strategy at these racetracks. But it is Matt Sladek, the lone man out in front, looking like this is Hungary 2021. He's the only car behind the pace car. The whole field's going to come on out, and this is going to be a restart. We got a lot of replays to discuss, and Ash Sutton is going to be in second in the 10 car. This is going to be a restart for the ages. We'll bring it right back to you, but we got a lot of replays to diagnose first. Now this is a very complex crash. The 87-63 fighting for position, and Sladek's just going to hook Strigley, bounces off into Porta, and it's just a ping-pong effect all the way down into the final corner where you collect about 5 or 6 cars involved in that. Look at Cody Goforth just sneaking through, but Strigley, he just got turned, bounces off into the 20. He goes spinning. There's not too much damage here. It's pretty torn up, but there's not too much damage. But Irving Allison, he's not going to see it. Breaks right into the 63, and that's going to be some severe damage to both of those cars. Looking at the back bumper of Larry Hagan right here, as you see, they're going to bounce around. You're just going to see the 20. Really crazy incident as the 20 slides faster than the 21 into that braking zone and piles up and takes out Larry Hagan. Heartbreaking to see for a TSR driver who's been doing so well. On board with our visor cam, that's Matty Porta in the 20. You're going to go along the ride with this wild spin. 87-63, get into him in front. He tries to go to the bottom. It's going to hook him. Hits the 63 and right into the 21. Just no brakes when you're out of control like that for our road course ace. Porta, though, on the wider angle shot, you just see it just pinballs around and he goes spinning around. He's led over 20 laps today, and I think that car has been taken behind the wall in that 20 car. On board now, with Cody Goforth in this 17. You're going to watch him just work through this. They're all spinning in front of him. He goes up to the top. He has to slow down not to hit the 20. Just sneaks his way through between the 20 and 55. Great avoidance by him there. But Joseph Strigley, Matt Sladek, Porta, Hagan, and Irving Allison all pile up into this event. We're under caution for the second time today here at Old Spice.
Old Spice Odor Blocker Body Wash is so powerful it can block BO for 16 hours. Its blocking power is as powerful as me.
Yeah, it is.
Who said that? Was that my left bicep? No, it was my
Abdominals.
Odor Blocker Body Wash is too powerful to let this commercial in. Block. Building kick. Explosion! Power!
Bit of a lengthy caution period. We're going to go back racing with 14 laps to go. Here's what the pit strategy is. Matt Sladek stayed out. He's got to come in. At some point, he's going to have to come in for fuel. They had even an extra lap under caution. I'm surprised he didn't come in last time by. Ash Sutton and the 10 team went fuel only. I don't think that's going to work. Let's be honest. You can make it to the end, but the tires are going to be dead. Now, all the drivers that pit on an earlier caution, on that last round of pit stops under that caution, No, the guys that stayed out... Never mind. Everyone took 4 tires. Yeah. So everyone took 4 tires that were down pit road. I was thinking Onjak was further behind than he was and came out with 2 tires. He did not. So the only strategy in the field are the top 2. Matt Sladek, who stayed out, and Ash Sutton, who went fuel only. The 87's damaged beyond repair, it looks like. I mean, they didn't even try to bring it in and repair it. So he is leading this field down, and that is going to be bad for everyone down in turn 1. And the 10 is just going to be slow on those older tires. Tip Foster, the money man, started this race 38th. He could win this. Kukulon, Onjak, Curtis, DeLello, Bowers, Goforth, Duncan are the rest of your top 10. 2 Fords are out in front. If the rain comes... Too bad. We're racing. It's a road course. They have rain tires. We had them at Mosport. We just didn't use them because they didn't have rain in the area until the last lap. So we'll see what will actually happen down here coming around for the final time before we go back racing. Matt Sladek is leading us around in a severely damaged, a limping 87 with Ash Sutton in second. This is not going to go well for anyone. Let's get ready for that. But we're coming to the restart. Sladek leads us down. Green flags in the air. And we're racing once again at Old Spice. And they're going to move immediately. Onjak is going to clear both of them by a country mile. Curtis is clearing to second. Foster stuck behind Sladek now. Sutton's not too slow, not too bad in comparison, as Foster now is going to have to try to make a move past Sladek and might just give him the bumper right here. And he's gonna. Moves the 87 up and out of the way. Is going to muscle his way past him. And now they're 2 and 3 wide coming through here. This is dangerous, especially because Sladek, who knows when that 87 is going to be coming down pit road, because that car is so damaged. It's probably dropping stuff everywhere on track, but it's Onjak out in front, and look who's in second, fan favorite DJ Curtis in that number 5. Could he defend Porta's honor and win this race? Here he comes to the inside. He's not a road course winner, not a road course guy, but that 5 is charging and now is drag racing side by side with Peter Onjak. Into turn 1 they go. Curtis gonna send it in. Monster brought Porta in because 1, he wanted a new team, he wanted the ride, he wanted a top tier competition, but 2, they wanted to get these guys some road course experience. Colton Lane has a win at Road America. Now, that was under some crazy circumstances last year, but the rest of them haven't really been too hot at the road courses, and Curtis is going to change that today. He's going for the lead. Onjak's fighting back, though, in the 44. Not going to go down without a fight as Peter Onjak. He's going to get a run there. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. Foster now in third is trying to hang on. Riley Spurlitub's up here. Sladek is going to pull that 87 down pit road, and so will the 10 of Sutton, so that strategy was not working for Ash. I think he was hoping for another caution real quick, but that is also a new team with a driver who's never done NSDCA pit stops in his life. But that takes the 2 troublemakers out of this. The only thing is now they might fall a lap down or at least be right in front of Curtis and Onjak as they go. But I think DWM, I think, would rather have the 10 finish the race and not have to worry about crash damage more than, you know, being out in front of the field and just falling like a rock through the field. Top 3 are under a blanket, though. Cody Goforth fourth. Let's see what he can do. Riley Spurlitube, didn't talk about him today. Some strategy was played in his favor. He is now sitting in the top 10 for TSR, and it looks like he's the highest running TSR car, which hasn't been the case for a majority of this season. And he's fighting William Duncan, as Duncan's going to go for that dive bomb, looking for the 7th spot here. And as we said, Duncan probably does not have the car to go up there and win this race, especially not now. He's pretty far behind, but this 33 car is fast, and he is looking for that top 10 run at this road course today. He had one at Road America if we did not go to a green-white checkered. Top 3 right there. There is the 10. So Sutton is off. Sladek is coming out now, so they took the time to try to repair it. He's going to be all on his own. That's nice to see. He's not... And caution is out. Yellow flag is out. Must be down here. And it's Tim Foster. Foster has been turned. I don't know if that was off of Onjak or what. It must have been off Onjak because Onjak is slow too. So it looks like the Onj Auto guys with some damage to the 44 made contact. That's going to put Cody Goforth into second as DJ Curtis is going to lead us down. 10 to go. Matt Sladek's going to receive the free pass, and the 10 is going to be back on the end of the lead lap with fresher tires. So Sutton's day might just not be over yet. That is a big break for Ash Sutton. Could have used that, so 4 fresh tires on that 10. See what they can do. Hagen's car is destroyed in the 21. I didn't see that before. Larry Hagen, I don't know what happened there. That didn't look like the initial part of the crash, so heavy damage to the 21 car. Eli Bright also has damage, so TSR is just self-combusted down here as that 21 is beat up. So we're going to go ahead and, we'll wait, see if anyone does indeed come down pit road. But look at this top 10. DJ Curtis leads. Cody Goforth second. 2 drivers looking for their first Cup win. But, DJ in this 5, it's been a long time since he's won a race. He last won in the Truck Series 2 years ago. Cody Goforth again, never won. We keep saying that. That's going to be the repeating record for the whole year. Kukulon won the first 2 races this season. DeLello, his last win was the Crown Royal 300. Onjak hasn't gotten a win this year, but his rival Jefferson has. William Duncan has never won an NSDCA event. Austin Delgado has a win here in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, has never won in the Cup Series, and pretty much that is possibly going to be a one-hit wonder with how he drives in the MDCS. Spurleytube has not won a Cup race yet in his career. Morris, coming off of 4 this season, looking for 5. And Anderson Reed has recovered into the top 10. Foster's not pitting. He knows the 40's fast. He's going to fight through the damage, but that might just be too much to worry about. Jefferson has also dropped like a rock, 17th there for that car. A lot of cars are torn up. Eli Bright bringing that one down pit road. Looks like the 21 of Hagen will as well. We're under caution for the 3rd time today. Let's get a quick replay, get you guys back to the action here at Old Spice. 3rd incident of the day between the 2 Onj Auto drivers. Peter Onjak in 2nd, Foster in 3rd, and Foster's just going to outbrake himself right into the back of the 44, and a big hit in the driver's side there spins the 40 around. So 2 of the fastest cars at the end of this race now we're going to be mired back in traffic with some damage. We also saw Larry Hagen with some severe damage. He and Eli Bright get together. We're under caution for the 3rd time today here at Old Spice.
Can't guard me, I'm telling you.
Hello, son. Doing a little sporting, I see.
Dad, not cool.
You know it's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours. It whisks sweat away into the night with jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
Let's settle this over a game
Don't
of...
say it.
Don't say what?
Horse.
That's my boy. If you can still hear me, I hope you enjoyed Old Spice's new ad for the new Old Spice. But who am I kidding? Of course you did.
Back live here at Old Spice. Coming down to the final 8 laps this time by when we go back green. DJ Curtis is your race leader. Cody Goforth 2nd. Kukulon 3rd. DeLello 4th. Onjak 5th. William Duncan sits in the 6th position. Austin Delgado 7th. Spurleytube 8th. Morris 9th. Anderson Reed 10th. As it stands, you got 3 drivers in the top 7 who have, well, 2 drivers in the top 6 who have never won an NSDCA race. You have right now, what is that? 6 drivers in the top 10 who have not won a Cup race yet. All drivers are on the lead lap. Larry Hagen's taking the car behind the wall. Eli Bright's still on track. Forgot to mention Diego Yepes on the previous caution. A gearbox issue in the 35 is going to take him out of this race. Foster has crashed out. He's still in the race. He's 13th, but he has damage. Porta is out of the race. This opens it up to anyone having the possibility to win this Old Spice event. We've seen in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, a lot of the wins were one-hit wonders. Bobo Jones this last weekend. Austin Delgado, Preston Emmons. All 3 drivers have not won a race since then. And Bobo, it was like 2 days ago, but he never won a race for 4 years before that. So this could be a race that could be the crowning achievement on many drivers' crowns. Coming down the front straightaway. Green flag's back in the air. Curtis leads us down. Onjak's going for it all. DeLello's going for it all. Duncan's going for it all. 4 wide into turn 1. Here we go. And William Duncan is sending it up the inside. He wants to win this race badly. DeLello, Onjak real close there. 3 wide coming off of it. Goforth wants the lead in the 17. Here comes Cody Goforth for it. But here comes William Duncan in the 33. Went very aggressive on this restart. And if he can clear Onjak, he'll take 3rd away. It doesn't look like he's going to, though, as Cody Cody Goforth has snookered the race lead from Curtis. Drives it real sideways there, and now as the tires start to wear, it's going to be very tough getting through these fast braking zones, fast parts of the track, and sliding all around. Cody Goforth out in front, and Onjak still wants to run this race. Does not want to lose it just because of that. He's now looking for second on Curtis. DeLello looking for a top 5, and now you see Austin Murray's up here. He restarted 11th. He's already inside the top 8. 8th position. Look at Zachary Fitzwater. Top 15 for the 81 in what could be his final start. He was having a decent day for a little bit at Road America. He kept it clean for a good bit. I think he had an issue at the end, but he's top 15 for LEI. And now you see DeLello Kukulon fighting right back to the bottom of Duncan, so it looks like a short-lived run there. But William Duncan, I think he saw the race win at hand, a race win possibility, and he showed that he is really wanting to be a race winner in the NSDCA. As he makes the move now, he's fighting. He's not giving up on Kukulon. Kukulon made one hesitation there, and that 33 is going to take that 5th spot away. Kukulon might dive it down into the final corner, and he's going to get a nose under there. We'll see what he can do as Curtis is going for it. DJ Curtis versus Cody Goforth for the race lead. 6 laps to go. 5 to go next time by. 3 wide further back. That's Spurley Tube and them. But Curtis is going for the lead on Goforth. We don't want to miss the battle this time as we're watching it. And the top 8 are under a blanket. And Curtis is going to clear that spot away from Goforth. Goforth fights back on the outside, though, trying everything he can with that outside line. He could get a run off the corner, though, that could bring him back up to Curtis, and Curtis did not close it off. Cody is right on the back of him, down through the S's, and here we go again. Could Cody Goforth send it on Curtis once again and take the lead away all over the back of that number 5 as they come on through the big banked turn? And here comes Goforth now. DeLello searching for a spot. DeLello's looking for the 3rd spot on Onjak. Cody Goforth, he's going to get a nose to the inside of Curtis, and now the top 3 never have won in the Cup Series, and one of them has never won a race in his life. As we got the 2 Monster Motorsports guys, Curtis and DeLello, that's pretty much the face of the team in terms of PR. You have a lot of guys on that team that have dominated races, but these are the 2 fan favorites on Monster, with Curtis and DeLello. Kukulon now into 4th. Duncan trying to hang on over Delgado. And this race has been turned on its head as you see Foster's back at 15th. Matthew Brown, I thought he went down a lap earlier. He's back in this fight. Look at the rest of the way through. Even Matt Sladek, they repaired that car enough that he's making some spots up. So is Sutton. And Sutton has fresher tires, so possibly near the end of this, he could pick up some more spots. But now, Cody Goforth pulling away. Kukulon versus DeLello, and Onjak's going to go for it with Kukulon. Sends Kukulon underneath DeLello. But I think the fans are seeing right now, if you count Austin Murray back in 8th, that's the only 2 guys that have won a Cup Series race are Kukulon and Onjak in 3rd and 5th. And they've both... Onjak hasn't won this season, so Kukulon is the only one inside the top 8 that has a win this year. And I don't think anyone wants to see Kukulon back in Victory Lane unless you're an SBR fan. I don't know if Onjak even wants to see himself in Victory Lane if it can be this man right here. Cody Goforth, who has suffered so many heartbreaks for BGM this season. And here we go, 3 to go. He's pulling away at Old Spice over another driver a lot of fans want to see in Victory Lane, DJ Curtis. But Kukulon is gaining, and that's scary for everyone. Kukulon hasn't won races since the first 2 this year at Daytona and Las Vegas. Kukulon's never won on a road course. He has a super speedway win, a 1.5 win, which is a speedway, and he won at short tracks last season at Richmond and Memphis. So he could be, if he wins this race somehow in these last 3 laps, if he wins this race, this 19 would be yet another driver to win on all 4 track types in the NSDCA. As you see back there, Duncan is going for a top 5. DeLello's car looks like that 57 might be starting to fade, but Duncan's car, it seemed like it got better on the long run at the end of that opening green flag stint. But this could be a top 5 day for the 33 if he can just hang on for William Duncan, as Curtis is losing a ton of time to Kukulon. And I think for Cody Goforth's sake, that 5 might have to put up a hell of a fight on the 19. As, man, Kukulon slung it off the corner. Curtis throws the block. Duncan's looking under DeLello. Austin Delgado, give this 04 a shout-out. He's not done too well on the ovals, but he sure shows up when they come to road courses in these series. And now Kukulon is cleared into 2nd, and we are 2 laps away from the end of this race, and possibly 2 laps away from what could be this man's first career victory in the NSDCA. And don't forget, these laps go quickly. This isn't Road America where 2 minutes, it's 5 minutes to the end of the race when you get the 2 to go. It's going to be 1 more minute, basically, this time by. And Cody Goforth, he's trying to hang on over Kukulon, trying to do it. BGM versus SBR for the race win, it could be. Will Kukulon have enough time to catch? Or will Cody Goforth win his first race as we come to the white flag here at Old Spice? If he gets the white, remember, the race is official if we get the right flag, and there is no yellow in the air. It's the white in the air. We're going to end it right here. No green-white checkers in sight. Everyone has enough to make it to the end. Cody Goforth into turn 1 for the 17. Kukulon closing in behind him. Onjak is going to get in the back and turn DJ Curtis in front of the field. DeLello's going to get a piece of it. Cars making contact further back. We got to watch this race for the win. Kukulon sends it in up top, trying to get the momentum off. If Cody Goforth is going to win, he's going to have to beat one of the best Toyota drivers of the season to do it. And he might come down to the final quarter. He's lost a ton of time. Kukulon has the momentum. Can Cody Goforth hang on? Here comes Kukulon in the 19 with the big momentum. Goforth's going to give him the outside. He wants to give him the line that's not going to be provided, but the 19 sends it in. It's going to be a drag race. Who gets the exit off the corner? And at the end, Kukulon is going to steal one at Old Spice from Cody Goforth. William Duncan comes home 4th. Austin Delgado 5th. Look at Ash Sutton sliding sideways off the corner. Again, I think this happened at Road America, but or Texas World, something. But the race is official. The race is over. You see these guys, they aren't yielding to the pace car. It's just a limitation of the software we use. But this race is over, and Sebastian Kukulon steals it. Steals it at the end. And I am so sad for Goforth right there. And that is just heartbreaking to see. DJ Curtis's last car that needs to cross the line. That's why they're all still on track, and that's why it said standby when I checked. I just wanted to make sure this was the end of the race, and I assume with all these guys just kind of lapping around, lapping past the field, it's got to be the end. Yeah, it is, because the ticker's not changing. So that is the end of the race. We're just making sure. And Sebastian Kukulon just stole it at the end from a man who's going to have to wait so much longer to get back into victory lane. And that right there you see the session is complete. That will be the race. Just wanted to make sure. And Sebastian Kukulon, you can't say anything though. Look at the run he had in those last 3 laps. Blew by Onjak and flew right up on Cody Goforth at the end. And Cody's just going to have to wait another week. I will have to say, though, this time I think it's going to suck. That has to suck for 17. But, you know, he didn't lose it based off of stupid mechanical failures. The car held up, and he fought to the end. He just couldn't hold Kukulon off. And I think that shows a bit more, at least, hope for that team here at the end. Zachary DeLello out of the race. The car was done. It was smoking when he hit Curtis. And Curtis finishes a lap down in the 5. He came in right before the finish line. So that's big there for the 2 Monster Motorsports guys. We'll have to see if anyone has some words for Peter Onjak later, as Onjak straight up just turned the 5 on the last lap. But all I have to say is, wow. That could be possibly one of the best road course races we have had, rivaling Mountain Dew Custom Series Season 4 at Watkins Glen. This had to be a fantastic show for the fans at Old Spice. It comes down to a last lap pass, and Cody Goforth just didn't have enough at the end. William Duncan 4th, Austin Delgado 5th, Spurley Tube 7th, Stephen Wallace Jr. 9th, Tim Foster a top 10 even with all that damage. A topsy-turvy finish to this race, and a great finish to the end, though it sucks for some. Sebastian Kukulon picks up his 3rd win of the season, and we'll see if Toyota can bounce back. Interesting thing to note, though, is all 3 manufacturers, the big 3 manufacturers, sorry about that, Ford, have won the first 3 road courses of the season in the Cup Series, meaning possibly next time at the road course at Watkins Glen, could be a Ford winning that, especially with how chaotic that could be. Maybe slower will be better. Sebastian Kukulon comes home in a daring last turn dive on Cody Goforth. Goforth tried everything he can. He went defensive. Kukulon knew it, took the outside, and beat him to the line. A great finish to the Old Spice Matterhorn 355. We thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.